Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, I'm just not attractive enough? Maybe you've had moments where you feel invisible, unappreciated, or like you're just not catching the attention you deserve. But let me ask you this. What if I told you that you're actually way more attractive than you think? What if the key to unlocking your full potential, to becoming someone everyone notices, is hidden in places you never imagined? I know it might sound like a bold claim, but hear me out, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why you are more captivating than you could ever realize. Before we dive into all of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and keep watching till the very end. Trust me, this could change your life. It'll change how you see yourself and how others see you too. So let's talk about it. How can you be way more attractive than you think? Let's dive into this deep because your potential is way more than just the physical, and we're about to unlock it together. Point 1. Confidence is your most attractive trait. Allow me to pose a question to you. Is it possible to feel completely invisible when you stare into a mirror? Feeling like nobody pays attention to you, no matter how much effort you put in. You put on an act, attempt to blend in, and maybe even crack a few more smiles than normal, but you can't shake the feeling that no one is seeing you. Yeah, I totally get that. I bet you've done the same. Let me transport you to an era you likely recall. Perhaps you were messaging your ex at the time, attempting to mend fences and hoping they would confess they miss you just as much as you miss them. However, they decided to leave you on red instead. Cold. No sound. You begin to question your value, your personality, and even your physical attractiveness. You could be wondering, if I were genuinely attractive, they wouldn't have left, would they? Attraction is about more than how you look. That is something no one taught you. It's all about your demeanor after the applause stops. The key is self-assurance. Plus, self-assurance isn't about drawing attention to yourself. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. What follows is a story about Ray. At social gatherings, he failed to attract attention. Neither a six-pack nor a fancy automobile were in his possession. People paid attention when he talked, though. Rather than his voice, it was his mere presence that made an impression. He wasn't trying to make an impression. He was content to be himself. He stayed put. As soon as he entered the room, he seemed at home. He was captivating because of that. You know, self-assurance is more palpable than tangible. Have you ever been head over heels for someone who wasn't particularly attractive, but for some reason you couldn't help but be captivated by them? Perhaps it was the genuine interest they showed in you, the unwavering strength they shown in the face of adversity. There's genuine allure there. People trip and collapse under that type of force. Also, you have it. You simply have forgotten about it. Imagine for a second that your ex-spouse wasn't unhappy because you weren't good enough, but rather because you let them too much control. Is it possible that being overly accessible, eager, and ready to establish your value was the real problem, rather than being unattractive? I am secure in my identity is the message of confidence. Plus, I'm not groveling for affection. I want you to reclaim your power right this second. It can't be achieved by merely altering your appearance in any way. Unless you alter your self-perception, put an end to being invisible. Put an end to trying to win over someone who left. Make it a point to live as if you're the winner. The environment begins to mirror your beliefs once you believe them. The most endearing vibe you can emit is self-assurance, not only to other people but also to oneself. Believe me when I say that the moment you cease pursuing, those who departed begin to question your motives. Point 2, your passion is what sets you apart. I have a question for you. Tell me what makes you happy. I mean, seriously, what is it about this very moment that brings your spirit to life? How long has it been since you were engrossed in something you liked to the point that you completely disregarded the need to check your phone? You didn't have your ex's message in your inbox. Their whereabouts and activities were not on your mind. All you did was be there, staying alive. Who are you? That is the most underappreciated kind of attraction. It is passion. His name was Leo, and I'll never forget this man. He had no notoriety. He had little money. Not even on social media was he visible. When he spoke about his dreams, though, a spark ignited in his eyes. He had the idea of starting a modest, unpretentious music cafe. His description made it sound like it was going to cause a global revolution. Moreover, did you hear? That fire captivated everyone. What matters is the spirit of the dream, not the dream itself. Just for a second, consider your ex. You were once the one who set them on fire, weren't you? You were a person who aspired to great things, who saw a future for themselves and a life they wished to join. Perhaps, though, you become someone else entirely on your journey. You instilled a desire in them, so that they could shine. You turned down your own light. It was your hope that if you loved them more intensely, they would remain. However, the reality is that nobody believes a pretense. When you share your dreams, aspirations, and the reason you get out of bed in the morning, people are captivated by the sparkle in your eyes. Do you aspire to regain your magnetic aura? Raise the level of enthusiasm you had before they entered your life. Before your heartbreak, what did you love? Before you become infatuated with them, what did you find most fascinating? What drew them to you was the side of you that exudes passion, drive, and excitement. And when you re-establish contact with that power, you cease to pursue and begin to be drawn. You need to quit asking for love and start taking charge. Perhaps you're sitting here watching this film, longing for someone to remember how special you are. You are not required for people to remember you, though, and that is something I want you to know. Always keep yourself in mind. You are captivating because of your enthusiasm, not because it makes an impression on others. Rather, it serves as a constant reminder of their own self-deprivation. Perhaps just possibly, the ex-lover who departed from you in search of something more exciting will read your backstory and come to the realization that they lost someone who was truly passionate about something. Thus, avoid pursuing resolution. Follow your heart. Why? Because that's where all your charm and strength reside. Point 3. Emotional intelligence is magnetic. The question I want to ask you is this. Have you ever given someone your all and they still didn't understand? Your hopes, dreams, concerns, and secrets were all spilled out to them, yet they belittled your frailty because of it. Do you feel the pain? Perhaps you even came to believe that displaying your emotions made you seem ugly. Being authentic makes you much. Thus, you started to conceal it. Instead of crying, you burst out laughing. You pretended not to be upset when you were actually upset. And perhaps, just possibly, they departed. Emotional intelligence, however, is contagious, which is something no one warned you about. Having the capacity to comprehend and express one's emotions in order to comfort the suffering of another, it's powerful. I have a story to tell you about a man called Arav. Unobtrusive was him. His behavior was far from flirtatious. He made no attempt to astound. However, he paid attention when you spoke to him. In addition to his ears, he communicates with his eyes, quiet and heart. No one tried to fix you after you confided in him about how devastated you were. All he did was put you at ease. That is appealing, my friend. Were you overly emotional when your ex-partner left? Is it too extreme? Is it being overly forthright? No, they departed because they were unprepared to confront you head-on. To swim in your waters would have been too shallow for them. And at last you've arrived, doubting that your feelings rendered you feeble. However, you were unique due to your high level of emotional intelligence. It was easy to adore you. You just let someone into your heart who couldn't handle the weight of it. The question to ask now is, when was the last occasion that you allowed yourself to sit in discomfort without trying to escape it? When was the last time you experienced the anguish of your ex leaving? You can't just start messaging random people, not if you try to act normally in public. However, by sensing it deeply, that hurt, which self-awareness, emotional intelligence is that. People can sense the profundity in your presence. Once you do this, people will feel comfortable being around you. Never mind that you're flawless, only because you're authentic. Knowing when to step away is a key component of emotional intelligence. Knowing what sets you off is the key. It's the ability to declare, I love you, but I love myself more. You wish you could exude genuine charm? Ditch the emotional numbness. Get a handle on who they are. See, the irony is that when you finally stop trying to hide who you really are, you have finally been recognized by the world. They will be sorry they let go of the authentic you, the one who shows vulnerability, communicates truthfully, and recovers freely. Point 4. Mystery makes you irresistible. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you sacrificed everything for them? With each idea, at the very least once each minute. All of your incarnations. Ultimately, they persisted in departing, declining to abandon you, as if you were a specter of your former self floating about. Do you feel the pain? Thinking, I gave them my all is common. I don't know what else they could have desired. However, the point is that they stayed because you were inadequate. They departed because you parted ways with them too hastily. You see, what's easy to attain isn't always attractive to people. Mysteries captivate them. No, it's not because you're a gamer. It's because you're not. Their curiosity hasn't yet peaked in your depths. Do you recall the initial stage when your ex-lover was completely enamored with you? All day long they texted you. I praised your beauty. They insisted they would remain forever. But as the years passed, every single call was answered by you, instantly responding to every text. Just to visit them, I'm canceling my arrangements. Then suddenly all the suspense was lifted. It was unnecessary for them to question your actions. They were already aware. They may have avoided a pursuit. You had previously arrived. Give me a moment to tell you about Neil. Shy man, feeling mysterious. He is meticulous about keeping things to himself. Fails to provide an excessive amount of detail. Despite this, he arouses curiosity in every woman he encounters. Taken in. Why? For the simple reason that he does not reveal all on page 1. He gently and deliberately reveals parts of himself. In a world when everyone is trying to grab attention, he manages to keep to himself. Regarding that murmur, people are drawn in. Is being so gorgeous something you aspire to? Refrain from granting unauthorized access to anyone. Politeness is key. Be more approachable. Be picky though. Take your time to establish your value. Permit them to long for your absence. Allow others to speculate about your thoughts. You should let them ask questions and not answer them immediately, because intrigue breeds longing. It raises the stakes. The thing that gets people's blood pumping is stress. Who is your ex-partner? They departed due to the story's abrupt conclusion. The reason being that they read all of the chapters in advance. Now they're on the hunt for a new book to crack open. But you know what? A fresh narrative is about to begin, and unlike before, the ending is not revealed on the first page. A little mystery is being kept by you. A brief hush. A little area. Just because the most alluring individuals, I wouldn't call them the loudest. Show-offs aren't their thing. People like that make an impression that stays with you even when they're no longer physically there. Conclusion, the real secret to attraction. The most important thing is not how you appear, but rather how you feel about yourself, your demeanor, and the energy you project into the world. You are far more gorgeous than you realize. Your charisma comes from the self-assurance, enthusiasm, generosity, and sense of humor that you possess. The nicest aspect is that you have control over these things. Becoming gorgeous does not require a makeover or an ideal physique. Improving what is already inside is all that's required. Keep in mind that genuine allure originates from inside. The world will take notice when you unleash your greatest self, and you'll find that others are drawn to you in ways you never thought possible. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.